Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm filming another full face of nothing new, which is a series here on my channel where I just use products from the past. Sometimes it's so refreshing to just go back into what I already own and just use things that I love or things that I haven't reached for in a while to create a makeup look. The goal with this series is also to kind of remind you guys to take a look into your makeup collection and not to worry too much about buying new products. So we're going to take that vibe one step further today because I am going to be doing a no brand full face of nothing new. So basically, as I go throughout the tutorial, you guys will not know what products I'm using. I'm not going to tell you, but instead I will describe colors and textures to you, and it will be more about the look and the technique than the actual products themselves. I originally got this idea from Mariah Leonard, so I will have her channel linked down below, but I'm really excited to film this. It's kind of ironic because it puts more focus on the makeup. And already it's taken some pressure off of me as far as choosing what products to use because it's not really going to matter. It's just about the textures and the technique and application more than anything. So let's just get right into the look. I'm going to be starting off with a primer, and I'm wanting to create kind of a summery look. So the primer that I chose is going to be a little bit glowy. I've been really into more glowy primers recently. I just feel like it helps the skin look so fresh and awake. So I'm just gonna use my fingers to smooth this primer all over the face. Do you guys like my 4th of July nails? I thought they were kind of fun. They don't really match my shirt today, but what can you do? So to go with the theme of a glowy complexion, I want to use a more dewy and hydrating foundation. So I'm just going to pump a little foundation on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to take my foundation brush, and I'm just going to start to layer tiny bits of this foundation all over the skin. I really do want it to look like it's still my skin, but I just want my skin to look like a healthier version of itself. So I haven't dipped back into the foundation on my hand. I'm just buffing and trying to make the most out of the product that I already have on the brush. That will kind of help prevent overdoing it as far as the amount of foundation goes. I'm also making sure to blend it down the neck so that everything looks nice and seamless. And I personally like to layer up a little bit more foundation on the cheeks just because I do have a little bit more redness there. So I will go back in with just one more layer of foundation usually around the cheek area to help combat that redness. And then I like to go over everything with a sponge after I use a brush. So I'll take a little bit of the foundation that's left on my hand and just use my beauty sponge to smooth everything over. I really love using a brush and then a sponge. I just feel like I get the coverage and even distribution with a brush, and then I get the finish that I want with the sponge. I'm really loving how fresh the complexion is looking. So now I'm going to go into concealer. This is also one that's a little bit more dewy and a little more hydrating. That's kind of what I'm going for with the skin look if you can't tell. So I'm just going to dot a little bit of concealer right underneath the eyes, kind of focusing right where I want that coverage. And then I'm also going to use the concealer to spot conceal any blemishes that I feel like need a little more coverage. So now I'm just going to blend out the concealer all over the face with that same sponge we were using before. You guys, I honestly can't believe that it's July already. This year has seriously flown by. It's insane. But the summer has been so fun and so good. And this week especially has been so fun for us because we got a new couch delivered, and I also got custom beauty cabinets installed in my beauty room. This whole setup actually is in another room, but I can't wait to show you guys what my beauty room looks like now. I can't wait to organize my makeup in the new setup. We've been traveling so much that I won't have a chance to organize until next week, and I'm like just dying to be able to be home to organize everything and to show you guys. I'm definitely going to film a beauty room tour once all that's organized. And I also filmed what it looked like before they put the cabinets in so that you guys can see the transformation, I guess. So that will be a future video on my channel, but it's been such a fun week this week. So now that everything is nice and blended out on the skin, it looks really fresh and really glowy, but I want to kind of set it and mattify it a little bit. I'm going to be taking a translucent powder. Well, I guess this one isn't actually fully translucent. This has a little bit of a banana tint to it. I'm just going to take that on a smaller powder brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and set the under eyes with this powder. I'm also going to set the eyelids with this, and then I'm going to take a larger powder brush with that same powder and just kind of lock in the rest of the foundation all over the skin. I just really like to make sure that everything is locked in, especially on the cheek area for me because again, that's where I have a little bit of redness. So I like to just apply the powder all over. Just gonna brush the brows up a little bit. And then we're gonna go into bronzer. And today I chose a bronzer that's more on the matte side. It does have a little bit of a sheen to it just to add to that glow. But I'm just gonna take that on my bronzer brush and start to buff that around the cheek area. also along the hairline. And since I haven't done my eyebrows yet, I actually do like to take the bronzer kind of just right over top of the brows when I'm doing the hairline. That just adds a little bit more warmth to that high point of the face. And I also love to take the bronzer that I'm using and just kind of dust it down the neck. That just helps everything look really cohesive in the end. I'm also going to take what's left on the brush and kind of just dust it across the nose. I'm going to switch brushes and go back to the brush that we were using for translucent powder. And I'm just going to go ahead and buff over all the areas that we just applied bronzer. This just really helps to smooth everything over, and it helps it look way more natural in the end. And then I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush and just dip right into the bronzer that I was using. And I'm actually going to use this to warm up the crease. And I also love to apply the bronzer on this lower lash line here. I love eyeshadow on the lower lash line, especially because I love wearing lower lash mascara. I feel like it helps really open up the eyes. So I'm just going to do the same thing on this eye. Next, I'm just going to brush up the brows again, and then we are going to fill in the brows. And I'm going to start off by filling in the ends of the brow, and then I'm going to slowly work my way forward, just kind of creating hair-like strokes. And then after I fill it in, I always like to brush back through. That just helps it look more natural in the end. All right, I feel like that's as good as the brows are gonna get. Next, I'm gonna go into kind of a shimmery eyeshadow on the lid. I just want something a little bit more special. This shadow has a pretty pink undertone and gold glitter in it. I'm just gonna take some on my ring finger and just apply this all over the lid, just to add a little bit of sparkle. If you're not into glitter, you could totally skip this step. I'm somebody who loves to wear it on a daily basis. So even when I'm doing more of a simple look like this, I personally still love to have a little something special on the lids. I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. This is so fun for me to film, you guys. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much, just sitting in front of a camera and just talking about makeup without brands and without specific products. It's so fun. So next I'm gonna pop on some mascara. I'm gonna do about 2 coats on the top lashes and just 1 lighter coat on the lower lashes. All right, so mascara is on. I'm gonna let any mascara that got on the lids dry before I buff it off. Next, I'm gonna go into highlighter. This is just a classic champagne color. It looks really nice on my skin tone. And recently I've really been into using highlighter before blush. I just feel like when you apply blush over top of it, it creates such a pretty effect and it all blends together way better. So I like to take my highlighter around the high points of the face right here, kind of in a C shape. And I personally even like to bring it on the front of the cheek so that when I smile, there's a little bit of light brought to the front of the cheeks. It just helps my skin look more healthy in my opinion. I also love to bring it down the center of the nose, Cupid's bow. And I always like to take whatever highlighter I'm using with a smaller brush, and I just love to use this as an inner corner highlight. To me, an inner corner highlight really helps to complete any eye look. And I also like to take the same highlighter right here under the high point of the brow bone, just to kind of lift the brow. There we go, that's so pretty and so glowy. All right, really quickly, I'm going to remove any foundation that got on the lips. And I'm actually gonna go into my lip color first before going into blush, because that'll kind of help me see what tone of blush I wanna use. Sometimes if I base a look around a lipstick, which is what I'm doing today, where did the lipstick go? Here it is. Sometimes it is good to apply the lipstick first and then even do the eye look after if you're not sure what exactly you want to do. So I'm just going to take my lipstick. I chose like an orangey color. I felt like that would be kind of fun for summer. And I'm just going to apply it with a lip brush. Actually, this is an eyeshadow brush, but it's a lip brush today. I'm just going to pat a little bit of the color on the lips. And then I'm going to continue to blend and buff with the brush, especially around the lip line, because I kind of like that blurred effect around the lip line, and a brush really helps to achieve that. But you're still able to create more precise lines, which is great with a more bold color like this. Okay, I might take some of the lipstick and apply it on the cheeks, but I am going to use the blush that I originally planned on using. It's much more of a neutral kind of pinky beige blush. I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to the apples of the cheeks. See, I might add a little bit of the lipstick color in here because this color is really tying in the pinks on the eye. But in order for the whole look to be cohesive in the end, I might want a little touch of this orange just to kind of tie it together. So I'm just applying the blush kind of over top of the highlighter, not up here, but on the cheeks. I like to really blend the blush over top of that highlighter. It just really helps, again, to make sure that everything looks nice and blended. So I am going to take a little bit of the lipstick just right off my lips onto my fingers, and I'm going to smile and just apply it right to the apples of the cheeks just to add a pop of that color. I'm actually going to even take that and just kind of run it through the crease right here. And then I'm just taking my foundation brush that we used forever ago, and I'm just kind of pressing over the lipstick blush just to make sure it doesn't look too crazy. I also think this part needs to be blended a little more, but I do feel like adding that here helps kind of tie in both of those colors. All right, let's step back and assess the situation. I actually really like how much bronzer I have on. I'm actually just gonna add a little more to the neck. I feel like the intensity of the highlighter is where I want it, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a setting spray. And then I'm gonna use my fan, and I'm gonna take the same sponge that we used before and just really lightly press down on the skin. And that will just add to the dewy effect. It just gets rid of any powdery finish. After I do setting spray, I always like to take a mattifying powder and just kind of press that into the smile lines, around the nose, and basically anywhere that I don't want shine. So the chin, the tip of the nose for me, and then also right here in between the brows. And I'll even add some powder right here in the brows because sometimes that can get a little oily for me. All right, we're gonna set the brows with a tinted brow gel. I'm gonna try to use a pretty light hand because this particular gel is pretty pigmented. And obviously I want some of that pigment, but I don't want it to be too overpowering. You could also use a clear gel if you want to. Clear mascara works well as a brow gel too. All right, you guys, so that completes this full face of nothing new using no brands. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that it encourages you guys to just sit and be inspired by the makeup that you already own. There's honestly so many different looks that you can create with the things that you already have. I absolutely love how this look turned out. I love the color in it. I love the shimmer on the lids. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this kind of a no brand tutorial. If you do, I will definitely do more in the future because even I need breaks from new products, and this was so refreshing for me to just be able to talk about the techniques and describe the colors so that you guys can look for something similar in your collection instead of running out and purchasing specific products. So let me know in the comments if you guys like this kind of a video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays when I upload, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for today's video. That was such a refreshing video. Honestly, I really enjoyed filming this. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.